It's wild reality that YouTube is currently flooded with AI generated music, created mostly by Suno Studio, and many listeners have absolutely no idea they are streaming artificial tracks. Most of these tracks don't even indicate that they are AI generated. Modern models have become so skilled at imitating human flaws like vocal rasp, breathing, and emotional nuance that AI generated songs are now appearing in massive lo-fi country and workout playlists without anyone noticing. Let's listen to one of the AI generated tracks. In this case, they mentioned that it's an AI generated. It, it has 1.8 million views in 2 months and it's in pop reggae style.
I see your shadow in the city rain. Your laughter echoes, but it fades again. Every street light feels like a dream. Love and silence torn at the seam. The night remembers every trace. Your smile still haunts this empty place. Shadows of your smile follow me tonight. Reggae beats and disco lights pop out of tears under neon skies. I'm lost forever in your eyes. The music plays.
I am in the process of building web application powered by Suno for generating and managing AI music. Suno is an AI music generation platform that creates full songs from text. You describe what you want, lyrics, style, mood, or genre, and Suno generates complete tracks with vocals and instrumentation. It aims at musicians, creators, and anyone who wants to turn ideas into music without traditional production tools. I registered on Suno where I can generate music. You don't need to register on Suno as our application is a web-based platform that will connect via an API. Moreover, Suno doesn't currently provide a public API. I want to present the music creation panel that reflects the design and functionality of the one we are building. On the Suno Create page, you have two primary ways to generate music, each offering a different level of control over the AI. Simple mode. This is the one box approach where you describe the overall vibe of a song, like happy pop song about a summer road trip in a single prompt. The AI automatically handles the lyrics, the genre, and the vocal style for you. It's perfect for quick inspiration or when you want the AI to take full creative lead. While simple mode is great for general ideas, custom mode is essential for using personas and the advanced sliders like style weirdness to ensure the output matches your exact vision. We integrate our application with kie.ai for music generation. Kie.ai provides an API to Suno, so we can automate and scale generation from our application using Suno through kie.ai's API. It's best if you are building an application or want to pay only for what you use. First, you must register on kie.ai, then create an API key. It will give you some credits to generate songs, but you can buy 1000 credits for $5. If you go to market and select text to music, you will see Suno. To generate the music, music generation costs it's 12 credits per request, and per request is about 6 cents. The output is two distinct song variations, tracks. Persona generation is free. In our application, we will use two APIs for now, generate to create music and generate persona. This is the generate music API. The endpoint creates music based on your text prompt. Multiple variations will be generated for each request. You can control the detail level with custom mode and instrumental settings. Rather than going through the API directly here, we can view it in the application, which makes it easier to understand. Testing the application requires Google authentication, so sign in with Google. After signing in, you will see four tabs. Two are ready to use, generate music and generate persona. The rest are coming soon. This is generate music form. Instrumental is on, meaning music only, no vocals. You can see that in this case, where custom mode and instrumental are both on, a prompt is not required. Only the title and style are needed. Etching the model shows its description. For example, for V5, superior musical expression, faster generation. Style weight. Style weight determines the degree to which the model adheres to the style described in your style field or prompt. Low values closer to zero, the model loosely follows the style. You may get unexpected variations or creative interpretations of the style. Higher value closer to 1, the track closely follows the given style. Musical elements like tempo, instrumentation, genre characteristics strongly mark the style description. Weirdness adjusts the likelihood of the model producing unconventional or unexpected musical elements. Lower values closer to zero, music is more conventional and predictable. Stays close to standard song structures, typical chord progressions, and familiar instrumentations. Higher values closer to zero, closer to one. Music becomes more experimental or weird. Could include unusual rhythms, unexpected chord changes, or novel textures. Great for creating experimental or unique sounding tracks. Audio weight adjusts how strongly the model follows the audio characteristics implied by the prompt or style. Lower values closer to zero, the model has some freedom to deviate, creating track that might be more experimental or different from the described features. Higher values closer to 1, the generated music sticks more closely to the input audio features like rhythm, instrumentation, or energy. When we turn off instrumental and if custom mode is also on, then vocal gender or persona fields appear. We will talk about persona later when we create persona. With with instrumental off and custom mode on, the prompt length affects the song's length and how it's sung. Custom mode is off, then only the prompt is required. Everything else, including the song title, is handled by Suno. Now that we saw the form, let's generate some music. I will start with custom mode off, which is instrumental music with no vocals and requires only a prompt. So the prompt is a heavy and intense metal track with aggressive guitar riffs, powerful drums, and dark, soaring melodies. When we start generating a track, you will see some callbacks such as pending, text generated, or first track finished. I will show it this time and skip it for the rest, as it takes a few minutes to generate. In this instrumental case, it's even shorter, depending on the prompt length. In a vocal case, it can take up to 4 minutes or maybe more. Tracks are generated, and as I said, for each generation we get two distinct track variations. Sometimes these two generated tracks are very similar, and other times they are quite different. Before listening to the generated tracks, let's see how we organize the audio files and database and take a look at the kie.ai panel. When we have many tracks generated, they appear under the collapsible Suno audio folder panel. You can select already generated tracks or search for them, which we'll do once we have many tracks. And here is the title generated by Suno. Once selected, you will see the settings for that track. If you want to regenerate another track, you can click Generate music to create a new track with the same settings. Each track is unique because the LLM generates content using probabilistic token sampling, introducing controlled randomness even when the same settings are used. It's common for music creators to generate, for example, 50 tracks with the same settings to find the best one. We use MongoDB Atlas to store authenticated users, music, generations, and tracks. As you can see, we have user and account collection to store logged in user information. We have generation information, and in the instrumental case, the prompt is the important part. Even if we pass additional information, it will be ignored by Suno music generation when custom mode is turned off. We have two tracks connected to the generation, each with a different audio ID and audio URL. We also store the local audio file name. On the server, we have an audio folder where we store the actual audio files and display them on the page. We can also download them. On the kie.ai site under the logs, you can select Suno to see your tracks. These are the tracks we generated. They say that media files are retained for 14 days and log data is retained for 2 months. Data beyond this period will be permanently deleted. Please back up any information files or logs in the device. Any important files. This is important because we display audio files from our server's audio folder unless they are deleted by us. However, to create a persona, we need a valid audio file that must still be available on the kie.ai server. This means we have 14 days to create a persona after the track is generated. All the track can be played infinitely from our server. Once persona is created, it remains permanently even if the original audio file has already been deleted from kie.ai server. We will now listen to the generated tracks to evaluate whether they align with the prompt and examine how different they are from each other. Let's generate another instrumental track with both custom mode and instrumental turned on. I will not change any settings and will generate one using the default configuration. I'm going to pause while the generation completes. Here are the tracks that we generated. So in this case, we have all the information in the generation collection, unlike when the custom mode was off. Let's generate vocals. I already have the prompt. As you can see, we included some tags in the prompt to indicate who is performing and what kind of section or instrumentation the AI should generate. Generated two tracks.
Yeah, they thought I was finished.
They thought we were done.
Back from the basement. Let's go. The clock is ticking, I'm picking the lock of the system. The rhythm is hitting, I'm flipping the script and they missed them. I'm back in the kitchen, igniting the friction with vision. An engine of precision, I'm making the lethal decision.
The pressure is heavy, I'm steady, I'm ready for battle. The snakes in the grass, I can hear them, I'm shaking the rattle. I'm climbing the castle, avoiding the hassle of acting. I'm focused on facts and the way that my rhymes are impacting. We're the architects of every single wreck we left behind. A master of the struggle, keep the puzzle in our mind. They wanna see us fall, wanna see us lose our grip. But we're titans on the mic, we never let the logic slip.
Yeah, I'm a lyrical miracle, cynical, hitting. Picking the lock of the system, the rhythm is hitting, I'm flipping.
From the coast to the coast.
They said we never make it. I wanna see us lose our grip.
We're the ghost in the machine.
Let's generate another one. Let's generate another song in which half of each verse is in Spanish, blending seamlessly with the English lyrics.
Yeah, greetings in the name of the Most High. A través del valle, alamos la luz, levántate. Sunrise in the morning, I see the shadows start to run. Another day of living beneath the golden island sun. The concrete is burning, but my spirit is feeling cool. I'm walking with the wisdom, I'm nobody's plaything or fool. Siembro las semillas en un suelo seco y cruel. Veo niños jugando bajo el cielo de clavel. No quiero riquezas, no quiero plata ni oro. Solo esta historia que es mi gran tesoro. Walking the road, carrying the hope of the elders. Building the home, being the spiritual shelter. Intentan dividirnos, perdernos en él. They said the road was closed and the gates were locked tight. Pero hallamos las llaves en el ritmo del baile. Gloria, rompe las cadenas. Walking the hope of the elders. Gloria, just the story, which is my great treasure. We're walking the road, carrying the hope of the elders. Build it. They said the road was closed. La misericordia.
Let's test the search functionality. It should search against the title, prompt, and style. Let's select Redemption Road. Let's search for pub. Let's search for heavy. So it appears in almost every track. If we select ashes in the opened wound, it appears in the prompt. If we select the architect, it appears in both the prompt and the style. Let's select Shatter the silence. The same. When we delete track, it's removed from the server's audio folder. But it remains on the kie.ai site until 14 days have passed since the generation. It's also removed from the MongoDB track collection. When you delete the second track from the same generation, meaning all tracks are deleted, the generation is also removed. The generation collection is also removed. Let's look into the application to see how the API is working for music generation. This is the generate music endpoint where we are passing prompt, where we are passing a payload which includes callback URL. The application, it's API generate route. It's route where we call the generate music endpoint, passing the payload and the callback URL. Then we save the generation information into the database. Callback endpoint is API Suno callback route. The callback URL. This callback process has three stages: text generation, first task track complete, and all tracks complete. So during the demonstration, you saw that we render callback information such as pending or first track complete in the browser. We didn't use the callback directly because callback cannot notify the browser in real time. To achieve real-time updates, we would need one of the following approaches. WebSockets, the server pushes updates directly to the frontend. Server sent events, the server streams updates to the frontend. Or database polling. The callback saves data to the database and the frontend periodically polls the database for updates. So, so currently, instead of using real-time callbacks, we are calling kie.ai every 8 seconds. We call API generate status route. Passing the task ID. Status. So here we call the generate record info endpoint to retrieve detailed information about music generation task. This is record info endpoint. Retrieve detailed information about the music generation task. So once the record information is succeeded, actually we save the track's information. And after that we call the API audio save route to save the track's information into the audio folder. I want to show some cases where we might receive an error or failure. So first case, you may get your tags contain an artist name. This occurs when you reference an artist name in a prompt style or title. Another case, exceeding the maximum number of characters for a field. This happens when you exceed the character limit for any input field. Let's select the track and add Bob Marley in the style. Your tags contain artist name Bob Marley. Suno. Your tags contain artist name Bob Marley. Now let's copy this. Paste multiple times. Length of music. The length of music style cannot exceed 200 characters.